Hey, Michael. Good morning to you. Hey, Falcon. Hope you guys are doing good. How you feeling, Michael? Hello, my friends. Just bring up my desktop. So today, every time I open that spreadsheet, I left my body. Sorry, an ad popped up. Let me put my shoes on. Hope you guys are having a good day. I hope you're having a good start to your week, depending on what time it is. Maybe you're already at. Maybe sorry. Maybe you've already started. Maybe you're about to start. I've been up for a bit. It's what, 5 o'clock, a little after 5. I've been up for almost 3 hours. Hey, Sniper. Um, Getting in my breath work, my meditation, do my lesson for the day, and of course, um, yoga, coffee, and writing. And this morning I wrote about judgment. Truth is, we're incapable of judgment, but we don't think we are. We think that not only are we fully capable, but we're perfectly entitled. And yet, every judgment is a weight against the heart. Every single judgment. Good morning, Anna. Falcon says, don't forget to tell your loved ones you love them. Agreed. Hey, sissy. The reason we're incapable of making judgment is because we have a split mind without realizing it. Only the ego can judge against another and or against ourselves. It's an important thing to consider. And as the ego doesn't rightly exist, it's a thought system representing a false identity of who we think we are. Then every judgment we make is an interpretation and not reality. So as long as we're choosing interpretation, we're choosing against reality. And as long as we choose against reality, we're stuck in an illusion. The illusion is that we're separate. Hey, Jessica. Yes, Jessica is here. How are you, my friend? I see you're going live. Was it Wednesday? Is it Wednesday? So we can drive ourselves crazy then, right? Because the ego part of the mind is always judging. It's always judging everything. So then we're told, oh, tonight, awesome, 6 o'clock. Jessica's okay. So every single spiritual tradition, uh, every single spiritual book urges us not to judge, including A Course in Miracles. But again, how do we do that? And aren't we judging against ourselves, which just creates internal friction? We catch ourselves judging and we say, I'm not supposed to judge. I'm so bad at this. I'm not a good student of A Course in Miracles. I'm not a good Buddhist. I'm not a good yogi. Here I am judging and judging and judging. I'm just creating this inner prison. It doesn't make me feel well. Key is, don't worry about judging or not judging. Simply recognize that you're choosing the wrong thought system and choose again and again and again, as often as needed. It's like building a muscle, repetition. If it was just one single projection from the ego that brought this world that we see and experience into existence, wouldn't be a problem because it would be done, right? It's the continuous choice of the ego that keeps us trapped within this thought system that has been projected outwards into the world that we live in. But we don't even have to fake it, Falcon. When we truly, truly choose the other thought system that resides in the mind, the Holy Spirit, even if it only lasts for a second. And if you don't like the term Holy Spirit, our guest on Friday, hey Parajat, how are you, my friend? Calls it our inner therapist. And I love that expression. The inner therapist is that part of the mind that is always at peace, that is always whispering that we are loved, loving, and lovable. And the ego says, not really. We can't really be loving. If people knew what we were thinking, if people knew that we were judging others, if people knew about my confusion, about my anxiety, about all the issues that I believe I have, that I experience, then there's no way that I could be loved or that people would find me lovable. And I certainly can't love this person because he's pushing my buttons, he's triggering me, or he's done something awful. How can I love this person? But that part of the mind, which is love, only sees and recognizes love. So we turn everything over to that. What we do is when we have a judgment, when we have an unloving thought, when we are self judging, is recognize it and say, I am incapable of doing anything other than what I'm doing now. But there is a part of me that has already done all of this. There's a part of me that resides in a peaceful and lovable and loving state continuously, constantly. And we hand it over to that, our inner therapist. Stephen says, do we crack the mirror of our own judgment or we just fog it up so we're not able to see the difference between the oneness? So we get every moment. The wonderful thing is we get to choose again. Anna says, I think night and day about something, Yogi. It drains my energy. It is draining. But here's the thing, Anna. You know that those thoughts are going on. But you're the awareness to the thought, not the thought itself. Do you ever get drained watching clouds? It's autumn now. Do you ever get drained watching leaves strip to the ground? Do you ever get drained watching birds fly? All of those are appearances. All of those are actions. All of those are things passing through. A cloud is passing through the sky, right? And you observe the clouds. You don't get exhausted observing a cloud. A thought is the same thing. The reason we get exhausted is because we believe those thoughts are reality. We believe that these thoughts are going to happen, or they might happen, or they should happen, or they could happen. But if we can simply step back and observe, it doesn't mean we don't get caught up. That's the whole essence of mindfulness. Mindfulness isn't emptying the mind. It's realizing I am being mindful of this. I am aware of that. Goes back to if anyone was able to watch our friend Friday. Why can't I remember her name offhand? Anyway, our guest on Friday. Always refer back to the I am. That's the presence in which everything is observed. I am observing my thoughts, meaning I am not my thoughts. I am the presence that is aware of those thoughts. That gives us some freedom. We can relax in that I am. We can relax in presence. All right, where were we? Logan says, heart is more powerful than mind. We don't have to make a separation between the two. The heart is contained within the infinite. If we keep going back to mind as an all encompassing, and that we believe the mind is split, but there's no such thing as a split mind. There is the belief of a split mind. Let's see. Hey, Joe Rogers. Hey, Yogi, a quick hello. It's a thumbs up from Shelley's channel. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate that. Hey, next time you can come by and hang out, and we'll mod you up, my friend. Or if you're going to be here for a few minutes, well, if you're from Shelley's channel, go ahead and mod you up. Shelley is a great, great friend. Wonderful person. Falcon says, I'm loving the way. Nanette, thank you. Why was that escaping me? And it says, no, I haven't been paid for my previous job last month, Yogi. and they don't tell me when. So, is there anything you can do? If there's anything you can do, and are you probably, knowing you've probably done everything that you're capable of doing right now. So just wait. You know it's going to happen. When you get the opportunity to remind them, take it up, remind them, and then wait. Remind them and wait. Joe Rogers says, "Thank you. You're welcome, my friend. Hey, chillin'. Glad you made it back. I'm glad you made it back too." Just says, "She is awesome. Thank you for the blue. You're welcome. And we're going to do more than give you the blue. We're going to bring up your channel. And first thing we're going to do, we're already subscribed. We're going to make sure that I got everything hit. And guys, Joe Rogers says, hey guys, welcome to my channel. Like my brain, my channel is a little mishmash of a little bit of everything. From mental health to gardening to my cats to wildlife and well, anything really. Also, I'm a recovering alcoholic. Welcome to the club, my friend. It's a new journey and I am with success of 3 months. I'd like nothing more than to share my journey and help others if it's possibly needed. Hopefully you guys like what you see. Some love and support. Full support, 100%. So here's a question. When you're ready, and that could be whenever you want, if you want to come up and share your story and offer encouragement to others, um, we're here for you. Just let me know. Coming up, we'll have half hour or hour and a half talk. Whatever you think you can share that might prove helpful for others who are on the journey. I took my last drink 26 years ago. There's been a few others here who have done the same. So let's just keep extending that for each other. Hey, Hammer, cold blast coming to Northeast tomorrow. Yeah, it's going to be cold here too. I'm not in the Northeast, the Mid-Atlantic, but not far. Good morning, Hammer. I've been up on your wrestling channel. Did I miss something from Parajat? Oh, there it is. Hey, Yogi, I wanted to ask a question. In a day of 24 hours, how much time are you thoughtless, calm, and composed as you meditate a lot? So I asked this question. That's a good question. I don't know if I could give you a portion of time. I don't know if I can quantify it because it depends on what's going on in the day, right? I meditate twice a day. I do mini meditations from A Course in Miracles all throughout the day. I am generally pretty calm. I'm generally pretty composed. That doesn't mean things can't throw me off. They can. But after practicing a course for 30 plus years, after meditating for a very long time, I'm able to return to center quicker and more often than not. So you get thrown off, you come back. I use the example of navigating in a plane, commercial plane. They're off course, and I could be wrong in the percentage. This is what I read. A plane is off course 90% of the time. Plane's going from New York to London. It's not a straight shot. They start going this way. They start going this way. Instruments tell them to make corrections. They go this way. It's always micro adjustments. But eventually, they get right on point to a specific airport in a specific city in London on time. It's amazing when you consider it. We're the same way. Many choices through the day. I can choose peace instead of whatever I might be experiencing right now. If I'm having thoughts about work, about relationships, about whatever, it's okay to have those thoughts. Don't drive yourself crazy trying to be thoughtless. Notice the thought. Notice what it might be doing. You can do a very quick body scan. Am I tense? How's my breathing? And then choose otherwise. Just remind yourself, I could choose peace over this. could choose peace instead of this. And then hand it over again to that right part of the mind as often as you can, as often as possible. Don't worry about if it sticks, because guess what? You can always choose again. It's a great question, by the way. So just like an airplane, I'm off course about 90% of the time, but I get the course correct through the whole day. Yeah, I think later this week we're going to have a high of like 48 degrees. Hammer. All right. What did I miss? Just says, yes, that would be wonderful. Thank you. You're welcome. We're here to support you, my friend. Hey, Nino. Good morning. Falcon says, I'm not a yogi or a guru or a teacher of any repute. Don't believe anything I say unless it resonates with you. I will share, if you will, in my 37 years of being on planet Earth. I would say that you are a teacher, and I would say that you are a yogi. Remember, a yogi isn't someone who just does asanas or breath work or whatever. It's someone who is very sincere in the practice of remembering who they truly are. And Falcon, man, you're here. I don't know what time it is for you, but it's 5 o'clock for me. And you're here quite often, and you're always offering love. That makes you a very sincere yogi, my friend. John says, can I quit my yapping? I can, actually. I'm not going to. So that was a question. Can I quit? If you wanted me to actually do it, you could have said, will you quit your yapping? And which I would have replied, well, in a little bit, not yet. But can I implies a yes or no. And yes, I can, but no, I won't. Not yet, but in a little bit. Deb says, Falcon, that all resonates except the planet bit. But I can explain that concept too. Falcon says, love is the greatest force I've ever come across. Agreed. Course Miracle says, teach only love, for that is what you are. Parajat says, it's all a play of thoughts. This is a prison, the world, a heap of illusions, a gathering of new desires of the heart. It's a game, a prison of thought, a pile of illusion. I agree with most of that. That sums up Maya pretty well. The only part that never resonated with me is a game. At least until we learn how to play it. Because it doesn't seem very playful for someone who is trying to figure out where the next meal is going to come from, or is battling a disease, or now this is what of course says, don't get confused. Levels of confusion. Don't confuse our levels. On the level of the body, it's a very serious business. Literally life and death, suffering, hardship, heartache, and heartbreak. On the level of the mind, of which we truly are, infinite mind of God. Don't confuse mind with, don't even confuse mind with consciousness. Mind is, in this instant, it is Brahma. It is that which cannot be separate from the ideas that it has. Ideas leave not their source. We are an idea within the infinite mind of creation itself, an idea within the mind of Brahma. So we read different teachings and they say, you're not a mind, you're not this. What they're really saying is you're not the brain, and you're not even pure consciousness. Consciousness is an idea within, again, that infinite mind. Even Nisargadatta Maharaj would say that I am Same with Ramana Maharshi. I am fades back into Brahma. I am emerges from Brahma and then creates ideas from that. And so everything's extended. But eventually, just like the breath, everything is contracted back into Brahma itself. We awaken from the dream. Joe says, I'm 43 and don't want alcohol involved in my life. There was a season of my life for that, and thankfully that season has passed. I'm glad too. I would not have survived. I was definitely on a path of self-destruction, choosing it over and over again. And yet I would have argued otherwise. But now, in retrospect of 26 years without a drink, it's easy to see. I was not having fun. I was harming myself and I was endangering others. I had the good grace of having that come to a swift and abrupt end. Paragraph says, hey, Yogi, one important question. Is there an action which is not based on thoughts? Not to my experience. I love what Emerson said, that a thought is the ancestor of every action. Now, Course in Miracles say which thought system would we choose? And I think even the Tao the Tao Te Ching would imply that there is the thought of the Tao, which we could say it's actually a thoughtless thought. It does not have the intention outside of the Tao behind it. There's a Kung Fu where every form of action is of divine love. I don't know if there's a Kung Fu expressed that way. It could be. But when we are when we continuously choosing, and again, the Course says the Holy Spirit, but you don't have to call it that, then everything is based, every action is based upon the idea of love. Remember, ideas leave not their source. Phyllis says, had some trouble that alcohol was masking, and many times I could have died or killed others with my drunken actions. Me too. Me too. I've told this story probably hundreds of times here, how my drinking came to an end. I don't want to bore you all again. Let me read one of my favorite prayers from A Course in Miracles. Here, a prayer is a form of communication. In the Song of Prayer pamphlet, added to A Course in Miracles later, from the same scribe, they talk about the ladder of prayer. The bottom rung of the ladder is when we are beseeching God for something we believe we don't have. Please let this happen. Please let this happen. And then a little higher up on that rung, we have the prayer for others. And then the third is we are praying for recognition of what we already have, that nothing's really separate. So we don't need to pray to get something. We need to recognize that everything that we need is already here. And the final rung of the ladder is when it's just communication with God, holy communication. Anyway, here's a prayer that I love. And this would be sort of a thoughtless action in which we're allowing the thoughts, the ideas of God to provide action in our lives. So we are no longer thinking in terms of, I need to do this or I need to do that. We're handing everything up, we're handing the reins over, and thoughts are happening through us. The thought system of who we truly are, the Holy Spirit, which is the voice for God, is now taken over. I'm here only to be truly helpful. I'm here to represent Him who sent me. I do not have to worry about what to say or what to do, because He who sent me will direct me. I am content to be wherever He wishes, knowing He goes there with me. I will be healed as I let Him teach me to heal. And another one, I will make no decisions on my own today. And then we surrender all of our decisions to the Holy Spirit. What should I do today? Where should I go? What should I say and to whom? So our guests on Friday, Karen, I should learn how to pronounce her last name 100% before she comes up. Zupko, sorry, Karen Zupko, is going to talk about learning to truly, truly distinguish the voice of the ego from the voice of the Holy Spirit through our practice of the clairs. Sniper, Sissy, you still here? Help me out with all of the clairs. We got clairvoyance, clairaudience, claircognitance. I think there's two more, right? These are what in yoga they would be called the siddhis, psychic powers. In Course in Miracles, they're just called the gifts, psychic powers. The key is not to pursue them, because then it becomes about pursuing power instead of being powerful. And it says every action is based on the idea of love. It can be. So every action is based on either the idea of the Holy Spirit, in which we are separate from the source, separate from the universe, separate from each other, or the thought system, an idea, an action based upon our inner therapist, the Holy Spirit, as Miss Whipper likes to call it, higher inspiration. And the thing is, we get to choose. And if we think we've chosen wrongly, we get to choose again. We're going to head out in just a minute, guys. All this way of life force and chakras, where questions end, where silence is, where emptiness is, who exists there. When the breath flows, it's steady. Energy dissolves into the absolute, the bliss. Samadhi? I would say yes. But I like thinking about emptiness. It is not empty of, but empty for. Another way of saying emptiness is capacity. That's what Douglas Harding would point out with his headless experiments, that we are capacity for. Emptiness serves the purpose of form. The Heart Sutra, the Buddhist Heart Sutra, emptiness is form, form is emptiness, with the operative word being is, not that. Emptiness does not become form, it is already form. In essence, it's the capacity for form to exist. Form does not revert back to emptiness. It already is emptiness itself. Falcon says where you would just tap the opponent on the head and they just start giggling, filled with divine joy. The ultimate self-defense. like a baby playing who plays peekaboo. What do you think? Would you guys watch UFC if there was a master of Falcon's Kung Fu and he he would, instead of submitting his opponents, he would just tap them on the head and they would instantly start giggling like a baby? Would you get a pay-per-view subscription to watch someone do that? All right. Silience, did I say that right? Is a clear sense of smell. Uh, Clara, agency is a clear sense of touch. Clear empathy is a clear sense of emotional feeling. Clear audience is a clear sense of hearing. Gotcha. Thank you. She will be up Friday. Her book, From Anxiety to Love, a radical new approach for letting go of fear and finding lasting peace, is incredible. She has a free e-booklet. Um, she is. I'll post a link this morning, later today, to get her ready for Friday. She has a free book with declares for A Course in Miracles students, using the Course in Miracles to or using clairaudience on our path of A Course in Miracles. She'll be up Friday. Tonight, this afternoon is Miss Blipper, I hope. Tonight is Dove Fishman, who is a 50-year practitioner of A Course in Miracles. Have you ever wondered, so what's the end result? Of course, all of us are hoping for an ultimate awakening, enlightenment. We want the waking up in heaven. And if that doesn't happen, we want to at least be living a happier dream, as the Course promises. But what's it like if we've been practicing for about 50 years? Well, tune in tonight and find out. We have another long-term practitioner tomorrow afternoon. She's been practicing since 1982. And this is Vicky Pope, is such a fountain of love. That's all she has to give away. That's the ultimate end result of the practice in this lifetime, is you become an endless source of compassion, empathy, and love. You no longer even think of choices. Am I choosing love? All you're doing is demonstrating love in every single moment. It's a beautiful person to talk to. I can't wait for you to meet her. Tiger King says, Eric, what time's Miss Flipper UK time? I think 6 o'clock. I think I'm not really up on my transatlantic time zones, but I think you're a 5-hour difference. Falcon would pay to see that. I think I probably would too. I haven't paid for a UFC since like 1993, 1994. Sissy says, is that a lot to remember? It is. Fortunately, I have you with me. Hey, Terry. Good morning to you, my friend. Hey, Yogi, what are your thoughts on celibacy? Does it support the process of spiritualism or just another lie? Well, here's the reason why practicing, it's one of the yamas, which are the 5 ethical restraints. These are called restraints because we restrain one aspect so that its opposite grows. So the first one of the yamas is ahimsa, which is practicing non-harmfulness. Notice that it's framed in negation. It's framed in the negative. Non-harming. Doesn't say practicing peace. Doesn't say practicing non-violence or pacifism. There's nothing passive about it. It's saying I'm practicing non-harming so that the opposite, so that peacefulness itself It's like tying a knot in a garden hose, and the water keeps coming and coming and coming, backing up, getting more and more forceful. And then when you untie the knot, it just rushes out. Peace. So when I practice brahmacharya, which is the abstinence, it is not so much practicing to gain. The best way of saying this. Let me reread your question so I can make sure that I get it right. It's not so much to support the process of spiritualism as in to recognize the mindfulness of our sexual energy or energy of other kind. It's being aware. Are we chasing the things that never bring us true peace? If we are chasing sexual activity just for that sense of um, sexual pleasure that we get in an instant, and then we have to chase it again and again and again, we're not being very mindful, and it's a waste of energy. So we're not practicing abstinence for the sake of abstinence or for the sake of achieving something. We want to learn to be mindful of that energy. And when we're truly mindful, it doesn't matter if we have sex or if we don't have sex, because we're mindful of where that energy is going and how we're using it and what we're choosing. Now, there are some great, great physical and spiritual advantages as well as artistic advantages of being celibate because it's a powerful, powerful energy. And when we cultivate it for something other than its expression through the physical, it is expressed through the inspirational. Does that make sense? Sissy says, clarification is another term for clear sense of smell as well. Not sure why smell has two different terms. Interesting. It's getting cold in Kentucky, huh? We're getting a bit of snow. Yeah, it's snowing all over. I don't think we're going to get any. I hope not. November's too early for snow. I'm super. Are you in the mountain area, Terry? Kentucky's a beautiful state. One of my favorite TV series took place in Kentucky. Actually, a couple of my favorite TV series. When I was a kid, Daniel Boone, of course, Gus Parker. More modernly, um, Justified. Awesome show. President says it does make sense. Falcon says perfect sense. Awesome. Tiger King wants to know when you're putting up Christmas trees. All right, guys. It's always a short conversation in the morning. Coming by again this afternoon. I think 1 o'clock. Miss Flipper's going to come up. I haven't heard from her. When did we see her? Saturday, I think. But I'll send her a message. And then Dove Fishman will be up. His name is David Fishman. He goes by Dove, D-O-V. And we're going to talk about Course in Miracles oneness, and he wanted to talk about triggers. Be grateful for your triggers. Be grateful for those who trigger you. They are giving you a wonderful opportunity. 32 here, snow today. Well, I know they had a pretty major storm up in Toronto. Hey, Easy Home Cooking, how are you, my friend? Like I said, she's unhappy though. Who's that, Falcon? So I might have someone every day this week coming up. I think Thursday might be free. I'm not sure yet. We'll cruise through the week. We had a fun weekend, guys. Lots of singing, Lots of just hanging out, spreading love to each other. A monk who married a nun. My good, my goodness gracious me. Hey, godson, I was thinking about you yesterday. E. How are you? I was thinking yesterday we haven't seen you for a bit. I hope all is well with you. He says, "Good morning. How are you? Doing today, everyone? I'm doing good, my friend. How are you? We're just getting ready to end the live stream. I'm gonna go out and take a walk. I actually don't know what the weather's like outside. We'll find out soon enough. It really doesn't matter. I get out and get my walk, maybe some running in. Uh, Either way, uh, sending out prayers. One, to all in need. Two, um, cat just not feeling good. I hope she's feeling better today. Tiger King says, "Are you free this Sunday? I will come up." I don't know as of yet. We'll see. I never know, until the week starts to unfold. There'll probably be some free time somewhere along there. All right. So thank you, Anna. Much appreciated. Some of you might have noticed that um, Kat was not available this morning. Um, I made a promise, by the way, that I would mention this. And what I'm going to mention is you don't have to do it if you don't want to, but uh, I am hoping as soon as possible to somehow achieve um, 1,000 members on my channel, 99 cents a month, just supporting me, showing up 3 times a day. Uh, there is content that I put up on my members only, but it's really not about the content. It's just about supporting the channel, which is why it's only 99 cents a month. You don't need to do it. I wish I could promise you a tote bag when I make these announcements that for 99 cents a month, you receive a lovely tote bag and a DVD set of Jesse Yogi in his basement doing burpees, which is a previous name for my channel. Um, but man, if I was clever enough to know how to do merch, as they say in the biz, I would give a tote bag away. That's a reference to PBS, which is currently being defunded, which is a shame. That means that um, Sesame Street will no longer be funded by the letter M or whatever the letter of the day might be. It'll be funded by commercial aspects, and it will not be the same. It will never be the same. Once there's an agenda behind it, once they're receiving money from non-public funds, remember every government fund is a public fund because the government gets its money from you and I. Come on, guys. Sesame Street. Anyway, I have no tote bags, but I would appreciate if anyone wanted to be a member. Tiger King says, come on, 1025 if you are free. If you want to come up for a little bit, sure. Just remind me. Coca says, PBS embezzled millions of dollars. I had not heard that. Who did they embezzle money from? Where did they get money to embezzle, though? And more importantly, did you guys know that Coco has an amazing singing voice? She keeps low key. Coco keeps very low key. She's just a steady, lovely, and loving presence in the live stream. And then, bam, she comes up and she hits us with an operatic voice, a bluesy voice, a beautiful voice, a soulful voice, and then quietly steps off the platform. Amazing. I hope she makes a habit out of that. I hope she makes a habit. Uh, but what did they do with that embezzlement? Coco's laughing. You're welcome, Coco. Thank you for coming up and singing. That was a highlight. That was a highlight of the weekend. Yeah, you don't have to show your face if you don't want to. Many people don't. This is actually not my real face. This is actually an AI simulation of what I would look like if I were 6 years old and bald and wore glasses. Sent it to the fake state of Israel. Interesting. Don't know anything about that. So I can't wait to come up, show people real. Sissy says that would be cool. So it's not that it's not like I ever asked you to show that you're real. It's that when people know that you're real, when people see that it's not just a screen presence, but a real person behind that screen, it's harder to judge, harder to hate. It is harder to, who was it that said, I think it might have been Pascal, but I could be wrong. Once you label me, you negate me. Could look that up. Oops. Hold on, guys. It doesn't matter who it was. Kierkegaard. Kierkegaard said, once you label me, you negate me. So once someone gives you a label that you're a troll or you are a this or you are a that, now it's easy to negate them. Now it's easy to disrespect or not take them in consideration. But once you see, oh, wait a minute, this is someone who has suffered the same way that I've suffered, maybe different in um, form, but in essence, this is someone who's had a hard life. Because who hasn't? Who else was it that said, be kind to everyone because everyone is fighting their own hard battle? So that's what I just want people to see. Sissy says, I'm excited to learn about you, Tiger King. Stephanie says, will Tiger King do some drama for us too? Probably. Coca says, we better they got caught. What is opposite of the ego? It's an interesting question. We could say the ego has no real opposite because the ego is fictitious. It's not real. It's a false representative of a thought system that serves the self-interest of separation. So if we would say the opposite of ego is love, that's to give it more power and more substantiability than it actually has. Hey, Jamie, how are you? So that's why the Course says that the opposite of love is fear. Yet that which is all encompassing truly has no opposite. Let me read the introduction real quick. I think you'll like this. And then we'll go. Then we'll pack it up. This is an introduction of A Course in Miracles. If you get this, you get the entirety of the message. This is A Course in Miracles. It is required course. Only the time you take it is voluntary. Free will does not mean that you can establish the curriculum. It only means that you can elect what you want to take at any given time. The course does not aim at teaching the meaning of love, but that is beyond what can be taught. It does aim, however, at removing the blocks to the awareness of love's presence, which is your natural inheritance. The opposite of love is fear, but what is all-encompassing can have no opposite. The course, therefore, can be summed up very simply in this way: nothing real can be threatened. Nothing unreal exists. Therein lies the peace of God. The ego is always feeling threatened. Always. How can you tell? Ask it to forgive someone, and the ego will say, but if I let them off the hook, won't they hurt me again? If I do this, won't this come back to me? If I do this, it means they won. And yet love simply has already forgiven. Love is a verb, always expressing itself. So anything that can be threatened is of the ego. The ego is not real. Even neuroscience shows that the ego is not real. You can't open up the brain and pinpoint and say, that's your ego right there. That little guy there, the little operating stand, pressing the buttons, moving the shifter. There's probably a name for the shifter. It's not there. You can't have an egoectomy. They can't remove the ego because it's not real, but you can see through it. Therein lies the peace of God. All right. However, let me add, the ego, don't confuse, remember the levels of confusion. Don't think on the level of body, the ego feels very real. So don't fight it. Don't think if it's going to real, I'm going to resist it. I'm going to go to battle with the ego, because that just makes it even more real. To simply realize, ego's choosing this, but I can choose something else. If the ego is a false representative existing in the split mind, not real, the false can never be real. Then you also have another representative in the right part of the mind, and that is, again, what Corinne calls the inner therapist, or you could call your connection to the Tao, or Buddha consciousness, or the Holy Spirit, Krishna consciousness, Christ consciousness. It could be symbolized by Jesus. It could be symbolized by Buddha. It doesn't matter. It exists there, and you can choose it. What are you confused? What are you confused about? I gotta go though. Coming up this afternoon, I would say neti neti is a way, but maybe not the only way. But it's a very powerful approach. Love can have no opposite. How can that which what you are have an opposite? Hey, Shelley, how are you, my friend? We love you too, Falcon. Falcon says, love is real. Simple says, nothing is real. Jamie says, have a great day, everyone. You too, Jamie. Thanks for stopping in. Shelley says, thank you for this. Thank you, Shelley. Thank you so much. Shelley is great. And yourself? I'm doing good. I'm going to head out and take my walk. I got a workout. I will probably live stream my workout at 8:20-ish. And then, we got our regular stuff. I definitely got to go. Running a little bit late. Get in my walk. Hopefully see my neighborhood beaver, my neighborhood foxes. Might be a bobcat lurking about. So I've been told, and I think I might have heard it. I guess it's been about 2 weeks now. Rajat says, this is the only live session I like to attend. So shout out to Just Yogi. Thank you, my friend. Hope we can make it worth your while. Shelly, you too. We'll be looking for you out there on the YouTube streets. Hey, you know, Shelly, I get the great pleasure of um, having conversations with Boy Pops. And I want you to know how much it really meant to her and how much she absolutely loves you and Joey. She could not wait to give me a call and say, guess who came up? Sissy says linear time is an illusion, but relative time has relevance to some degree. Agreed. Everything has relevance to some degree, right? All right. Buddha love. Thank you, Buddha. Guys, I will see everyone later today. Come by for the workout if you want. It's not very exciting. Kettlebells go up, kettlebells go down. Kettlebells go up, kettlebells go down. And then it's over. Thank you so much, Buddha. All right. I love you guys. I'll see everyone later. Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. I do have an email. It is in my description, channel description, but let me put it here real quick. Don't make fun of my email address. That means all of you guys. Yes, it's AOL. I do not have dial up. I do not have AOL. I have an AOL email address because Verizon ended their emails a while ago, and AOL still does email stuff. So I sort of inherited it. Anyway, there it is. Sissy says okay. Or I'm sorry. Shelly says it's okay. All right. So if you have it, I'm going to go ahead and erase it. Guys, Sissy has just dropped her link. If you have not experienced a session with Sissy, I highly recommend it. Where did it go? There it is. All right. Thanks. All right, guys. Now I'm going to go. Love y'all. Take care.